Hello, I'm back. We're on Whole30 Days 5 and 6. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today because the last couple of days or last couple of videos I've done, we've really been focused on the protein, the main part of it. Today we're going to be working on something a little bit different. We've used the zucchini squash medley mixed with onions and mushrooms as our vegetable. That comes from when I was working for Marriott Hotels. During the spring and summer months, we would typically do zucchini squash, mushroom and onions. When we switch over to fall and winter, we would go to eggplant and fennel mixed with onions and mushrooms. So it was obviously it's a corporation. They have kind of a standardized way in which they like to do things. But it was very successful. It's obviously very, Marriott Hotels are who they are. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to focus on that. On our starch end, we've been doing, I'm going to take these out of the, we've actually been doing roasted red potatoes. And that's basically because I've really had a hard time finding other things at the store. Today we're going to do petite red and, sorry, that's just the oven, and golden potatoes. We're going to cut those in half. Actually, we're going to probably go ahead and get that started first. So we're going to go ahead and just dive right in, get this. For our protein tonight, I'm not going to really show you what I'm doing here, but we're going to just do a salmon as we're going to grill off a salmon for it. Make sure though, whenever you're grilling salmon or any fish, you remove the skin first. A lot of people don't like to do that. I mean, I've really kind of been struggling to find why the skin's not removed. I've worked for chefs before, and they tell you to remove the skin after, and it's like, no, it's already burned and charred. It's like, it's in the flavor. So you want to try to make sure that my opinion, of course, that the skin is removed prior to any type of cookery. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get our potatoes knocked out first. These are, like I said, these are the petite potatoes. I had a couple of rogue ones here, right? All right, so let's, on these, you can actually cook them the way they are right now, right in the oven, air fryer, whatever. Even deep fry, as long as you're using olive oil or something like that. But on these, I'm going to go ahead and cut these in half. And there's really two reasons why I'm doing that. One, the potatoes take half the time to cook. When you cut them in half, obviously you're cutting the cooking time in half, so that helps. Second thing is, on these petites, I have really found that over the years, I always cut them long ways. So kind of think of it along the vertical axis, so to speak. Don't cut them lengthwise or horizontally. So I've always found that over the years, if I don't cut them in half, when I go to plate them up, they roll around. They're not very stable on the plate. They don't have a great plate presentation. So that's just me, So I'm going to go and cut these in half. I think they look beautiful. Obviously, I'm going to cut my cooking time in half. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and try to save myself some time here. Just going to get this thing going. Got some olive oil, salt and pepper, right? And I'm going to use the exact same one for the vegetables, the same bowl. I mean, it's not hard anything. Just make sure though, if you're cutting the meat, you obviously switch cutting boards. You don't want to cross contaminate. This is a board designed for cutting vegetables or starches. So, all right, so almost done here. I'm just cutting these in half. This is not going to take me very long, I promise you. I'm pretty fast at this. I'm probably making too much too. I'm not going to eat all of this, but anyway, it's okay. So, these in here, and I'm actually going to cook the vegetables last. I never really thought that eggplant, I've really never been a big eggplant person. I like it grilled a little bit, but when I started mixing it with fennel, I mean, there was just something earthy about the combination of those two things. It works. It really does. And it's not my idea. Okay, so some other chef, discovered it before I was in, and they just showed me, and it's like, no, here at Marriott, this is what we do. And obviously there's a seasonal, component to it too. Obviously, certain things are going to be in season at certain times better than other things. So we're going to do that. So there's our starch. We're going to go ahead and toss it up, get it nice and oily. We're going to put a little bit more seasoning in it. All right, we're going to toss it in more seasoning. We're going to throw this in the oven. All right. Just go ahead and throw this on in the oven. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut up our eggplant and our fennel. All right, so our eggplant is that right there. That was a sticker I couldn't get off of the eggplant, so I had to cut it off. So that's why that's there. So anyway, so we're going to go ahead and cut the ends off of the eggplant. Now, obviously, if you're grilling the eggplant at this point, you just slice it into circles. But since we're going to be sautéing it, we're going to be doing it a little bit differently. Actually, we're going to bake it in the oven. Okay, so we're going to cut long ways. We're going to cut 4 pieces, just like this, to where all you have left is the square seeded, and you're going to toss it or use it for stock or whatever. We're going to go ahead and toss it today. I'm going to cut this in half, and I'm going to make large, probably probably 1/4-inch dice, maybe even closer to half. Yeah, it's somewhere between 1/4 and half, so whatever that is mathematically. So we're going to throw that in there. I love eggplant in this way. Okay, there's our. All right, there's our. And so remember, when you're cutting, you always want to make sure that, pretend like you're holding an egg. Make sure those knuckles are out. You don't want the fingers exposed. You want the knuckles out. All right. My kids just came back from a swimming party, so that was exciting. All right, I'm actually going to use that eggplant. It's a little bit tough on its shell. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. So now we have the fennel. Of course, this is the bulb part of it. So we're just going to remove the stem on this. Take the stem. All right. And you're going to kind of peel it back like an onion. It's just going to peel it until you can get down to that part where you can kind of tell that this is the edible part. The outer part, it's like I said, it's like an onion. I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit, trying to remove all the green parts of it. Now, once I cut this up, if there's any green part of it, you definitely don't want to mix that in with your vegetables. So, so we've got the stem cut off. I'm going to cut a little bit more, get a little bit more of it cut off. So now we've got it nice and clean on the bottom. We're going to go and cut it in long ways vertically. All right, and then we're going to make nice julienne cuts. And that's the last thing I love fennel. It's one of my favorite things to eat, especially sauteed. It's really good, and it works really well. You can smell it. It's like almost like a licorice smell. It's really good. It's good stuff. So like I said, I'm going to try to clean this up before I put this in the bowl to be cooked off. I'm going to make sure I get all the green out of it. You just don't want to eat that green in it. Make sure it's white. Make sure everything's kind of broken apart too. You definitely want that. You don't want to get any big pieces. All right, so we're going to clean up our board. We're getting there, guys. Hang in there with me. We're at about 8 minutes, so I try to wrap these things up in about 10 minutes so they're not too long. But this video was strictly about the veg today and the starch. All right, so we're going to toss those together, take that apart a little bit more. All right, just so somebody's not grabbing. Okay, last thing we're going to do is we're going to do julienne and onion. Same thing. That's going in there. Probably half. You don't need a whole onion. That's a lot. So I'll use that other one. And then we're going to cut up some mushroom. Probably not all of it either. Just cut in nice strips. This is a portobello mushroom. As you see, I'm trying to beat that 10-minute rule I set for myself, so that these videos don't go really super long. More mushrooms and we're done. And this is our winter medley when I was at Marriott. All right, so we're going to toss. We're going to give this a good tossing. A little more salt and pepper. Maybe a tad bit more oil. Eggplant tends to be kind of dry, so you're definitely going to get that good tossed together. A little more salt and pepper. And you're ready to go. And so next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw the salmon on the grill it a little bit, hit both sides really well, put some nice grill marks on it. I've already got the oven heated up, so I might as well just finish it in the oven. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Get some good grill marks on your salmon, finish it up in the oven. Make sure the internal temperature is 155, 165 in that range, and you should be good to go. All right, thanks for watching.